This is Twit.
Mara, Los Angeles. Hi, Mara.
Hi, Leo.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I have a question based on something you said a little while ago about, I just caught the tail end of it, but about hacking Google or Target, like that.
Breaches.
So,
Yes.
A few weeks ago, I decided to check my stock brokerage account online, and I couldn't get in. So I called them, and they told me that, well, you changed the password yesterday.
Oy.
And I said, no, I didn't. And the upshot of that conversation was that they said that I had asked to have papers emailed to me to authorize all the funds being withdrawn. It's just so lucky that I happened to look at it.
No kidding.
Right after this happened. But the next day, fraud called me, and they said they had listened to the entire conversation.
Yep.
And that it was obviously a man imitating a woman's voice.
Oh, Lord. You know what the problem is? Customer service reps. Customer service is the first two words, and they want to help. And even if it's a guy talking like this, they're too helpful. So you need to set a pin on that. I'm sure they've told you what you need to do to secure it.
Wait, I want to tell you the rest of it.
Well, hang on, because I got to take a break. I do want to hear the rest of it, though, because it's a great cautionary tale for all of us. You know, one thing, they should send you an email whenever there's a request like that. You should immediately get an email. I'll tell you some things you can do to prevent it in the future, but I want to hear what happened. Wow. Hi, this is Mara. I'd like my money now. That worked? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I have to say, it sounds like the brokerage is at fault on this. But we'll find out. I'm not going to talk to you during the break, Mara. Normally I would talk to you during the break, but I want everybody to hear this, so we'll get it on the radio. Mara, did you get to hear the phone call? Because that would be fun to hear somebody impersonating you.
No, I didn't, but I sometimes think about calling them and asking them to play it for me, but I've been so busy figuring out LastPass and all the other stuff I've done to protect it.
Let me recap. So Mara, for some reason, got the idea she should check her online brokerage account. She hadn't done it in a while, and they said, well, your password changed yesterday. You called in. In fact, you asked for all the paperwork to transfer your money out. What? Fortunately, you called them. I mean, did you not get an email from them saying this had happened? Usually that's what happens. They
told me that the call came from my number and that they sent the letter to my email address, and I never got it. And this is basically why I'm calling.
That's a cause for concern. Your number's easy. It's easy to spoof your number. I can spoof your number right now if I know it. By the way, this is the worst kind of attack because this is a targeted attack at you. They know about you. See, most hacking, most malware is casts a wide net. But somebody, probably from one of these breaches that I was talking about earlier on the show, got some critical information about you. Maybe you were a Marriott Starwood member. And remember that big Marriott hack that 500 million accounts got out? Well, it had name, address, phone number. Maybe they didn't know who your brokerage was, but they called around until they found the one that was, right? And they had, they spoofed your number. So that's, by the way, if the brokerage is using that to verify you, that's terrible. Get a new brokerage. They should do a lot more than that.
I took care of all the security measures that I thought I had. I checked everything else, and it didn't appear that they had done anything else to me on my computer, bank, or whatever.
Yeah,
but
no.
Here,
they got the gold. They got the gold mine. Who cares what else? They got the money.
But Leo, here's the main reason I'm calling you. All of this stuff I know you can explain, but I asked them how they finally verified and allowed this person to do this. They said, we gave him 4 multiple choice questions that were taken from public records. I think we've all had these questions. They're sort of like which of these banks did you have a mortgage with 8 years ago, or what was your address? Which one of these?
They use your credit report for that. So that's how they got it.
They answered every question correctly, and that's the thing that I just can't understand.
Yeah, that's how they got it. So whoever did this to you got information about you, probably got your social. And what they asked for, they went to this was a bit of a project, but they knew there was a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. They probably went to, well, first of all, it could have been from the Equifax breach. Right there, that would be enough.
Right.
Remember Equifax, everybody's in Equifax's database. There are 3 big credit reporting companies, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. You don't have a choice. If you apply for credit in any way, part of the fine print on the contract will say we will submit information about you to these credit reporting bureaus. They collate information about you. And, of course, when you apply for credit, that's who the lender will call and say, well, is Mara good for it? If they got your information, let's say they got it from Equifax. Maybe they didn't, but let's say they did. They may have gotten your entire credit report. That's where all that information comes from, where you lived, what your previous phone number was. It's all in your credit report. So,
and where you had a mortgage, which bank?
Yeah, that's in your credit report. And by the way, that's why that brokerage used it, because they have your credit report. So they can look at it and say, well, so they had that information, but so did the bad guy. So there's lots of ways to get it. This is a big problem we all are subject to. First of all, Equifax leaked this information out in a big database breach. So very, very likely that came from that. But let's say they got your name, address, phone number from the Marriott breach. And then, okay, they need your social to get your credit report. So maybe once they got that information, they found another source. A lot of times bad guys can collate these sources together. The breach, the thing I was talking about at the beginning of the show, collection number 1, which has 773 million passwords in it. That breach is so, it's 2 years old. It's so worthless. The hacker who has it sells it for $45. 773 million passwords, $45. It's nothing. He says, I got much newer stuff. These breaches happen all the time. If you go to haveibeenpwned.com, that was the site I was mentioning. At the front page, you can put in your email address, but I guarantee you your email address is known. Click the tab at the top that says passwords and put in the passwords to your bank, your email, the variety of places, because that will tell you something. If your password is known, and some of them will be for sure, then that means that bad guy had all sorts of ways to get this information. So that's why we always say a couple of things. I hate secret questions. Now you know why. I hate phone number verification or text message verification because I have a good friend, Ray. Ray just got all of his stuff, all of his accounts stolen because they spoofed his cell phone. And when the text message came in, it went to the bad guys. And the bad guys were able to steal his Gmail account. And once you get somebody's email account, then you just go to all their other accounts and you say, oh, I forgot my password. Send it to me. They send it to the Gmail account. Bad guy has access to that. You're an open book. So I'm glad you're looking at LastPass. The other thing that's very important is two-factor. Use two-factor everywhere you can. That's the one where if they not only need your password, but you need to also submit a code that's good for 30 seconds. It's not, it can't be stolen because it's only good for 30 seconds. It's a one-time password.
So that's the one where they send you a text. But
the problem, the problem with text is they can be spoofed. If any company offers you two-factor with a text, take it because it's better than nothing, but it's not fully secure. Because
then how do you get a secure one?
Well, they have applications like Google Authenticator that you put on your phone. Somebody would actually have to physically have your phone. I have in my pocket a little dongle called a YubiKey that does the same thing. They'd have to physically get that key. Whenever you can, do that. But remember, a lot of these services have a fallback because convenience trumps security. They have a fallback to an SMS message, which means it's nothing. It's no good. If somebody knows that much about you, they knew your phone number. They probably spoofed your phone number, which means they were able to get any text messages. So that wouldn't have worked either. So you got to always look for a two-factor that does not allow text messaging authentication. Google is good on this, by the way. Gmail is a good... Do you use Gmail for your email?
I do use it, and I'm embarrassed to say AOL as well, which I'm...
AOL is not good.
Right.
Most ISPs are not good. But Google will allow you to use two-factor that does not have text messaging as a backup. That's what you want.
Okay.
It's very hard when somebody targets you, as they have. It's very hard to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm so sorry. But, Mara, you got it all turned around, right?
I did everything. But both the bank and the stock brokerage now have a secret word.
That's good. That's what you want. In fact, call your cell provider. This is how you avoid SMS hacking, and say, please do not give my SIM card or my information to anybody who doesn't give. I want a PIN. I got a text message about a year ago from T-Mobile saying, we have a problem. You better set up a PIN. So set up, that's those secret words, those PINs, they should be set up everywhere. And that shouldn't be stored anywhere, not in your credit account or anywhere. I'm sorry it happened, Mara. Thank God you caught it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
For explaining it to me.
Oh, man, what a mess. But you're not alone. The good news is you didn't get your identity stolen yet. What you now also want to do is you want to go to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion and put a credit freeze on your account.
Okay.
I'm going to I can give you a link, but I could put also a link in the show notes to a description on how to do this. And why this is so important is these people have enough information to do identity theft at this point. And that is a problem. So there's two kinds of, there's a fraud alerts and there's a credit freeze. Now, the downside of a credit freeze is you will have to unfreeze it to get a loan, to buy a car, to get a credit card, anything like that. But the good side is so will a bad guy. So he can't use your credit report against you. So you definitely want to put a credit freeze on all of these. It used to cost money. Thank goodness there's finally a federal law has been passed that says they can't charge you to do a credit freeze.
Okay, well, I do know how to do that, and I didn't do it because it did seem like such a hassle. But now that you've told me this, it's more of a hassle if I get identity theft.
Yeah.
So I'll do it today.
Yeah, because the bad guys now know enough to do that if they wanted to. They clearly have your social. So they have your social, they have, and that means they could do anything they want. So you absolutely, and by the way, if they ask why, say, well, this is why, and they'll go, yeah, of course. They don't like these because that's how they make money, is selling your information. But as of September 21st, credit freezes and unfreezes are free. They used to be $45.
How do you unfreeze it if you need to?
You call them.
Oh, well, that's simple enough.
It's not horrible. You will want to, as always, with everybody, set up PINs and second factor and whatever you can. I'm glad you got LastPass. That will help a lot. Clark Howard, if you search for Clark Howard, I don't know if I've referred people to this before, but I don't know if Clark's updated it for the new law. So it might say it costs money. It doesn't anymore as of September. Okay. But Clark Howard has a good article on why you want to do this, what the different ramifications are. It's at clark.com if you search for credit freeze. Yes, he did. He updated this.
When I heard him on your show recently, I did sign up with him.
Yay. Good.
I'll do that.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
I'm sorry it happened, Mara. Boy, you had a instinct. You're very fortunate. It's interesting. I'm worried that you didn't see that email. That means almost certainly they have access to your email. So I presume you've changed your email password by now.
I have. Since I got LastPass, I've changed everything.
Yay! So the bad guys had access to that. The fact that they don't now is very good.
Yeah. Okay, well, I
Ay.
haven't seen anything else. No other evidence. The bank, the
Good.
computer, nothing
Good.
so far. But I
Yeah.
will do that credit freeze.
Yeah, just remember they have that information. So they went after the big bucks.
Wow.
that's the payoff. Yeah, that's terrible. And it very likely came from a breach.
Yeah, and I can see that now. But the reason they needed papers was that they weren't just asking for the money; they were saying sell everything.
Oh man, that's a lot of money. They wanted it. They wanted all. They wanted everything you had.
But isn't that odd that you would just call and say sell everything, like in your IRA?
No, why is that odd? They want to cash in. Well, that's what I'd do if I were a bad guy. You don't rob half the bank. You rob the whole bank.